Hello friends, welcome to the space. My name is Candace and this is Frappes and Frequency. So let's get started. Let's sip, settle and sink into what wants to be spoken to today, what's happening in the collective energy, which is kind of obvious. Anybody with eyes, ears, consciousness or awareness already knows what's happening within the collective. So I'm just gonna put a disclaimer on that. The first word I got was bewildered. So there's an element of confusion. But yeah, let's just open up the space and see what comes through. So this is an open invitation to get comfortable, you know, grab a cuppa or coffee or whatever it is, it's your bevy of choice, and let's arrive together. The energy already that I'm picking up, that's being picked up I should say, is yeah, it is that bewildered, confused. It's yeah, it's kind of difficult to explain, but just know that that is a theme here. There's a pattern of this confusion element. So I'm just going to take a couple of deep breaths. I invite you to do this with me, or do whatever it is that you do to regulate yourself, to bring yourself to present moment, to ground, if you will. Whether you listen to music to help you relax. I'm really fond of these koshi chimes. They're wind chimes. They're a particular type of chime. It really is resonating with me at the moment. Yeah, there's almost this need to over-explain or overcomplicate, I'm hearing. Details, I'm hearing. And even the body is quite forward leaning. So I'm just consciously going to, and I heard the words neutralize myself. What the hell? Just ground, calm the F down. Word erratic is making itself known. And when I say things like making itself known, presencing itself, there's just a need to say that type of language is used to say it's not me, Candace, that it's coming from. It's just coming from present moment awareness, right? So interpret that as you will. But yeah, oh, what the hell? Okay. Guys, this is going to be really interesting. So I'm just going to get straight into it. This is a very, yeah, that word erratic is coming up again. And like, it's not felt or sensed as in the energy of being erratic. It's more like, because the way it is experienced in this body right now is more like just the knowing of this erratic nature. But it is felt in the body, but it's quite mild for me. Also this feeling of breathlessness, and actually I did try to record this before and I had to grab my inhaler because I could, like, the breath was, I was struggling with the breath, which is strange because, I mean, not that you need to know this, but within the inhaler that I use, there are, what do you call it? Like preventatives as well. So I shouldn't be out of breath, but I am, or the body is at least. And so, yeah, that's just, I'm just being made aware of that breathlessness, like this gasping sensation. And even throughout today, for some reason, the attention is being drawn to the throat as well. Yeah, there's something strange in the energy. I don't really quite know how to explain it to you guys. But if you're with me, if you're here, then you know, you've been pulled here for some reason. I'm just gonna, I've got, what the fuck? Okay. I'm gonna take some more deep breaths. Okay. I'm just gonna flow with this. I'm not gonna, like, this is, like, ego is coming in telling me, oh, stop and restart, and it's like, no, just flow with it. It will make sense. Ground yourself. And that seems to be the undercurrent, actually, of this. There's that word again, this erratic, what's the word, what's that? There's another one that wants to come through. It's like something. Not Erasmus? No, it's something, I don't know. Because, yeah, I'm wondering if it keeps coming up because it's not the full word. I don't know. I'll have to, I don't have anything to kind of check language or look it up or anything. Maybe it'll come through later, but, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm going to take some deep breaths and ground myself, because whatever's going on here in this collective, the word itchy is coming up, and it's weird because the last post that I did, that came up too, but it was a physical sensation. It wasn't the word. Okay, I'm just gonna get into it. Like, I want to stay with this, but it's also uncomfortable, so I'm gonna move away from it. I don't know why I'm hearing the word Lightbody. I might write that down. Lightbody. I think that's more a esoteric word. And as I say that, I see the word esoteric. And next to it is systems. So this might be about a particular system, belief system. Hearing the words pattern of behaving. Which does make sense if I'm using the brain to kind of make sense of that. Pattern of behaving, yeah, it could be a system, because within that system you have these rules and regulations and these procedures, policies, or how, just depending on what kind of system it is, right, of how to act, how to behave, how to present yourself. Seeing the word show and then off, but show, like show off, but the off is kind of blurry, so it's just show. So I'm just going to invite you, if you are here watching with me, to take a couple of deep breaths with me, to sink in your space. I'm also hearing the words take up space, so that might be significant for someone. Yeah, and there's this like undertone of anxiety as well. Like nervousness. Whoa. Okay, let's grab some cards and I'm just gonna pull different cards. We'll see what comes out. I'm seeing the Agape card and the Starborn, and the Agape came out in the last post. Seeing the Queen and Starborn again. The Siren and the Queen. Starborn, Siren, and the Queen. Synchronicity. There's a synchronicity. Definitely a need to breathe. Hearing the words gather yourself. There's stuck energy here. Okay, so okay, we've got two cards. Okay. So, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Cave. And the reason why I took that old puffaloff over there is because when I was in meditation, one of the last things I saw was a cave. And it wasn't like a full-blown cave, but it was like an entrance to a cave. And it was very, very narrow. And here the cave card comes up. Oh Jesus, this card almost gave me a heart attack. So I've just noticed those eyes in there. That's creepy. Feeling a very heavy energy looking at this card. I almost want to shut my eyes looking at it. Yeah, when I say the energy is heavy, I mean that. It's almost this frequency of preventing me from speaking. It's sitting up here. It's like blocking the throat. And that was said before, right? This blocking. Okay, I want to move away from that for a moment. So the cards that came out is the Sword and the Vision. Also getting this weird pain in my right foot. What is that? Actually, I'll check this book, but it's not a book I use very often. So this one says foot problems, fear of the future, and not stepping forward in life. Do you know what the sensation feels like? I'm just gonna say it because that's what's coming forward, is almost stigmata-ish. So this might be something to do with religion, but it's feeling like a stake or burning on the top of my foot, and I'm looking at it and there's nothing on it, but there's this weird circular shape darkening on my foot. That's bizarre. So yeah, it's feeling like stigmata type. And I'm being made aware of the crucifixion, so that's where the stigmata conversation comes from, is the crucifixion of Jesus. Why this is coming up, I don't know, people. I have no freaking idea. This is the first time I've ever spoken about religion in this context. Or that it's come up in any kind of way. But I'll just check this one. Feet. Nope. While you're sitting there waiting for me to get my shit together, again, inviting you to take some deep breaths. I definitely feel like, yeah, okay. Oh, this is great, because when I brought out the a couple of posts ago, there was pain in the hip, and it was a particular side. I think it was the right side, and I thought this book was going to provide the sides, but it didn't. But the foot, it does. So right foot speaks to, okay, so the feet in general, moving in the wrong direction, ignoring your intuition, feeling confused, lost, ungrounded, or out of touch with reality, feeling stuck, bogged down, or obligation to others, miss the big picture, indecisiveness, getting cold feet about a situation. So the right foot is too much obligation, feelings of anger, irritation, frustration, and rage, a great deal of focus on the material things and what you are going to get out of a situation. You are trying to break through something using force rather than standing back and allowing it to happen. You are essentially shooting yourself in the foot. That's what it felt like a burning sensation. Ooh. All right. Just gonna grab some of my stones here. Okay. So whenever I see this card, I always think of the swords in terms of the tarot, right? Communication, logic, anything to do with mental activity. And the sword itself, I always think of the sword of truth, like this illumination of truth, this clarity. And even on the card itself, it's got these two aspects, this shadowy aspect and then this lighter aspect here. I'm hearing the words mediation, or perhaps, yeah, mediation within the capacity of communication, of the essence I'm getting from this is like meetings or even conversations between groups. Two specific groups, but there is a third energy. Yeah, I've got to just speak to what I see here. And then vision, having this plan of the future. And again, there are two aspects. Okay. So this is quite interesting, and I'd like to actually look up what that means. Because multiple occasions today, awareness was being brought to the hands. Just different things that happened. My son cut me on my hand with his freaking toenail. I burnt my, like, spilled hot tea, like freshly brewed tea on my hands. I had I don't know what you call those things, hangnail, I don't think it is, I don't know, those things, and it's picked and it's burning. So I was like, what is going on with the hands today? And now in these two cards, I'm seeing these hands, like two hands. So I'm just gonna, because I mean, in this deck itself, the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, there is a lot of hands, but I don't know, for some reason the attention is being brought there. So my bad, my friends, I'm just going to refer to this again, because I do, like, this isn't a channel for future predicting or telling you what's going to happen, nothing like that. This is to speak to what's arising in the now, and this is arising in the now moment. So whether that helps you become more sensitive yourself, as in really tuning into your own awareness, your own self-awareness, or just becoming a little bit more vigilant of the subtler frequencies. And this is strange or not, but this was the last post that was done, is these subtle frequencies are trying to inform, yet with the amount of noise and distraction that is around at the moment, we're not able to properly tap into that. And then it's interesting too, because the words that were written here were bewildered, confused, unknowing. Trust is a bit of an issue at the moment. Boundaries crossed. What's that word? Furious, frustrated. So pretty much what it said about the feet. And then collective hack. I don't know what that means. Collective hack. Overfeeding. And from that I pull like overconsumption, because it has been a theme in the posts of late. And then next to that was usage, so that tells me it's consumption. Content or content, and then contempt, too much information, and then seeing a cave came after that. So let's just have a look at hands. I'm just going to look at the general meaning of hands, because it happened on both the right and the left, in different ways. So, fear of the future is highlighted. Helping hands want to help everybody in need, but sometimes don't look after themselves. Healing hands gravitate towards healing others. However, be aware that you cannot save the world. You can only contribute to the lives of others if they are open to it. I kind of mentioned something to that effect in the last, was it the last post? I don't know. Talking about, you know, the only thing we can control is our own growth, is our own self-awareness. I'm gonna look up this cave, because this is a significant card. So I mean, clearly this is something to do with a vision of sorts, and the owls here represent wisdom. Where is it? The cave. Yeah, I'm not going to read all of the cards. I'll just read the ones that I feel cool to read. So the cave, the dark, the portal, the interior. Those who are fortunate enough to find and enter the cave are forever changed. It is a place of potent power, acting both as a portal to another realm and a space for sacred ritual and initiation. The cave is a place to return for meaningful retreat, where one can see the true self in the darkness. In esoteric teachings, the cave is known to reside in the center of the heart. Ooh. Within its walls, the whispers of compassion and self-understanding can be heard. Yet because of its mystery and power, many of us fear the cave and never try to find it. We busy ourselves in the bright lights of the city, while the cavernous and dimly lit chamber calls out to us in the night. Where's your cave? You already know. Return to it and tend the fire. So, the sacred center within. The reason I laughed midway through reading that is because I wasn't going to wear this top on its own. I had another t-shirt on and it just felt strange, even though it was like my favorite t-shirt. And I wore it because I don't like wearing bras. TMI. And so I just had it over this, which is firmer. And so I was like, nah, I don't want this on. Took it off. It wasn't even like a mental thought. It was just like, just taking it off. And then the immediate thought after that was like, oh, that's interesting because the green is the heart chakra. So that's why I laughed, because it was talking about the cave being within the heart. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I feel like I've dilly-dallied a lot already, and this is speaking to this confusion energy, right? This unsettling, very unsettling feeling. And yeah, it's quite strange because it's like it doesn't want to move forward. It wants to stay in this stuck, and I feel like I said that before, the stuck energy. Did I say that? I feel like I've said that maybe in the previous attempt to record this, but there's something about illusions being cut. And my attention again has been brought, and I'm seeing it like WN, so I'm not sure what that means. See that lightning bolt there? That's the thought about that is this narrow cave, this almost like sliver of light, if you will, this pathway through the muck or the confusion. Okay, I'm just going to pull some tarot. We'll just see what's going on. I mean, maybe I should read the sword, because when I see it as, and I just saw 7 of Swords, and that speaks to some type of deception, illusion, betrayal. What did I want? Yeah, I'm just going to read the sword. Come on. Okay. The sword, the knife, the blade, the weapon. To use the sword is to decide. The blade separates one reality from another. The choice is made and all else falls away. If you find the sword in your grasp, you can no longer hesitate. The weapon requires a clear and decisive mind and a willingness to act. An onlooker may think the sword bearer is hasty and violent, but the most compassionate and responsible gesture is one that is honest, swift, and accurate. Our first encounter with the sword is at birth, when the cord we share with the mother is cut. This moment defines our separation from her and begins our journey of becoming ourselves. We must make these cuts again and again if we are to grow. Decisions shape our life, and the sword is an infamous shaper of destiny. And it goes further, cutting through what is essential. And one of the notes on the side here says boundary making, prioritizing and clarifying are all gestures made possible by the sword. Yeah, clarifying. But also cutting, like cutting out the bullshit. Kali, the goddess of liberation, I'll say. She uses knives or swords to cut through bullshit and limiting beliefs. So, as I said before, and right, so this is interesting, okay, because on the card it's got this mountain on the inside and like this very, very small cave looking thing. Can you see that? And I'm not getting hermit vibes, like, okay, let's go and retreat and go into our cave. This is something else. This is strange because usually like this makes so much sense, but there's like a almost like a cloudiness over this. I'm hearing the word netting, but it's like a fog. And for some reason, the attention is being brought back to the show off, where the off was almost erased, like there's some type of illusion. Is like the lighter aspect is presenting itself, whereas the fullness of the essence or the energy is not showing itself. Does that make sense? Okay, let's get 3 cards. Definitely some energy pulls happening. So that could speak to what was spoken about in the last post, is about these distractions pulling you left, right, center. And it's like, that could also represent the fogginess. Like, I'm not, like, these videos are recorded once a week and the energy can either stay the same for a while or it can move on to something different or something else can be picked up. But I'm feeling quite honestly that this is just a continuation, maybe. Or not, I don't know, man. Like this confusion energy is quite unsettling. Going to invite you to take a couple of deep breaths here. There's something about partnerships. There's something about the like 2, maybe 4, but 2 specifically, or 2, 3, 4. Don't know why I'm hearing the word reunited. it's like this, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm really not enjoying this feeling, this energy. It's very unsettling. It's very, I'm even like trying to breathe properly. It's very unclear and I don't like it. It's not, these types of feelings can send people into a bit of a darkness, into a bit of a dark space. If you're not aware, if you're not self-aware, if you don't know who you are at the core, not this body. Okay. Still haven't cracked the damn cards. Okay. Oh, this is, okay. There's something about time here, or timing. This obsession with timing. Temperance. So being patient. And actually that temperance card is very similar to the sword. It speaks a lot to duality. All right, 3 cards. Two more. In the last post, was that the one that was the Pentacles was significant? We've got Emperor at the bottom. Yeah, was Pentacles significant? Because yeah, they're coming out again. I'm pretty sure we had this, the 9 of Pentacles. So, okay. 7 of Pentacles in the anchor frequency is also, I feel this need to be patient, in a way, this need to not rush things. And that came out with, was it the hands as well? I'm hearing the phrase or words, everything in due process. Or due course. Process was the word that was heard. So yeah, I did say that before. There's something about timing, like the right timing. Yeah, so this is about the anchor energy anyway. What we should be anchoring into is just allowing, being patient, grounding ourselves even if we feel dysregulated. If we're feeling out of touch with reality is wanting to be said. Even though reality is seeming like, and I did say this in a previous video, like a damn video game. Actually, no, that was, okay, interesting. That was the podcast episode about Charlie Kirk. That was said. This video game of life at the moment. And there's a general sense that and that was written down, right? This confusion, this frustration. There's a How does this want to be said? When the Seven of Pentacles is in the upright, we are planting seeds for something to grow. We are laying down the lines, we are doing the plowing, we're preparing the soil, so to speak. And it speaks to timing, patience, waiting, just taking everything in stead and just allowing everything to work itself out in a ways. When it's showing up in the shadow, there is a need to exhibit those levels of patience that is required when you are planting seeds. So there is frustration, and this is being felt, and that can create this element of and it's interesting that the music has stopped, because I had it on a 10-hour thing or 10-hour video, so that's really interesting that it's stopped. It's the first time it's done that. And there's like an impatience of like, why isn't it kicked back up? Like, why is it not working? Why isn't it playing? So yeah, there is a need to for sure ground yourself. Like I'm even, like I said, I don't like it. I don't really like that feeling. And if you're sensing this, let me know. If you're like physically sensing this, somatically sensing this. And I'm also getting this feeling of like the vibe I'm getting is this like, waiting, come on, hurry up, let this happen. Why isn't it happening yet? Like, yeah, I'm seeing a clock. Is that Central Station? And there's also a reference to a movie. What is that movie? Yeah, I don't know what Central Station has to do with this. Why I'm seeing the clock in Central Station. And what that movie is. I don't even know the actor. Movie. It's a movie about I want to say signs. Come on, let me at least think of the actress. No. I'm seeing the gentleman. I don't know his name. But it was a movie about signs. Oh, okay, I see her face. But I forget her name. I feel like she's an Australian. Is Teresa Palmer? Or Therese Palmer? Yeah, the movie was about signs, and was it about... Okay, I'm not going to keep going on about it, but there's something significant about this movie, because it does talk about astrological aspects. It speaks of history repeating itself. And an opportunity to course correct, an opportunity to change the patterns, the reoccurring themes. I'll post the details of the movie down below, but yeah, I mean, you get the gist of it, right? It's talking about, yeah, being able to decipher the signs and the signs and the symbols and the signals, or becoming aware of it, and making sense of it, figuring it out, and then preventing something from happening. So I don't know what that's about. So I'm going to leave that there. Movie. Why am I hearing that? I'm not going to say that. I've been here. Okay. Man, today has been so weird. The energy is really strange and I don't quite know what it's trying to express, but the word Kirk keeps coming up. And the first for today, it came up earlier on today. I was listening to the radio, which I rarely ever listen to, and that song was playing. I think it's Mary, Mary, Mary. I think they sing it. But the Shackles song, the shackles on my feet so I can dance. And that has significance to me personally because, anyway, I don't need to go into that. But it is a song of faith. But for some reason, Kirk Franklin came into the mind, and I don't quite know how or why. I don't actually think he's involved in that song, although he could be on the remix. Mates, I don't know. I'm just telling you what's coming through right now, okay? And I need to calm down. So yeah, Kirk came out there, and then it came out again in the mind, but it wasn't Charlie Kirk. It was something else. I don't know, man. Like, anyway, I'm gonna just note that movie. Signs and Symbols, I don't know. He was like a in the movie he's not a pilot, but he was part of the, I don't know what you call, like an air traffic controller. Yeah, I think he's an air traffic controller, and he's responsible for making sure that planes leave at a particular time and arrive at a particular time, and there's no collisions. So the reference to that, I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's move on because we're already at 47 minutes and I haven't even gone to the second freaking card. So we've got the Nine of Pentacles, and this is in the challenge or the shadow, like things that can distract us and take us off course. And this is to do with material things, with wealth, with abundance. So whatever that is currently looking like within this collective, just to be mindful not to place too much emphasis on the external material stuff. Like really, I guess, questioning what is wealth to me, on a personal, on a value system level, not money, cars, houses, all of this kind of crap. So yeah, really being mindful of those types of distractions, things that are of a material nature. And then we have the World, and it's come out in the reverse, which is interesting in this space because it's about the integration in where I've placed it. This is about you know, how to use this energy to move forward, or whatever this collective energy is. And the World in reverse is stagnancy. It's not moving forward. So how do we integrate the idea of stagnancy to help us move forward is the question. I'm hearing the words step by step. And now I'm hearing that. Step by step. Oh my God, I can't even sing right now because my voice is, it's like doing me a favor, not embarrassing myself by trying to sing the New Kids on the Block song, Step by Step. Gonna get you. But I'm also hearing the Captain Planet version. I don't know if, like, this is going back to the 80s and 90s. There was a kids show called Captain Planet and the, I want to say Musketeers. It's definitely not Musketeers. Captain Planet and the Planeteers. And they use a sample of the NKOTB song, New Kids on the Block, for those who are like younger than me. Yeah, there might be some relevance there because so it's a cartoon about this entity, energy, superhero person who goes around and heals the world. And interesting because the world card is here. Weird. Yeah, like, so he goes around and just heals all these things in the world pertaining to the environment and nature. And these Planeteers help them, and they have these rings, and they're like, yeah, so the song is like Earth. Right, so it's about elements coming together, because when they do come together, they form this stronger unit. Guys. So yeah, I mean, that's interesting. Like, okay, from a perspective of integration, how to utilize these bizarro energies, this frustration. And I mentioned the word hermit. What was that in regards to? The cave, right? Like, not sinking back into this cave, so to speak. So these are different ways we can look at this, right? Is like, yes, when we're reflecting on the actual card, the cave, we're reflecting on going within and looking at ourselves as opposed to looking at everybody else, right? But we can also look at it as a point of retreat, of going into this cave. And there's a need to say that we need to actually work together now. We need to come together. And I'm feeling that from that card, from that card. And it's going to take some extraordinary leadership as well with the Emperor card here. But this is not outright leadership because it's showing up on the underside of the deck. So this is a undercurrent, this theme of empowered leadership. And what does that symbol mean again? Oh, that's divine masculine. So divine masculine energy, it's not a what's that? It's a frequency, it's not genders, right? So this is, I feel like this is a mass frequency of leadership, this rising up and this working together to spin this world, to end whatever needs to be completed and to move forward. So this is about taking little steps, staying focused. Guys, this has been a frequency and a narrative for a little bit now in this space. This freaking focus and not allowing these distractions to set us off course, right? Yeah, so, you know, so essentially what the energy, the collective energy, what it's feeling like, to summarize, is heaviness, frustration, waiting for things to happen, whatever that is, right? we have this collective vision, but it's just not happening within our time frame, within our expectations. What this energy is saying, or what the cards or the frequency, whatever's being experienced here is speaking to is, and I know it's like telling someone to be patient. You know, when someone tells me to be patient, I'm just like, brr. So me saying it to you is just like, what the fuck am I saying? Because I know I'm just like, I ain't got the time, you know. But yeah, there's a need, and there's a need to be here in the now and focus on the now, not getting distracted, focusing on the vision, even if it's like, if nothing is quite clicking in the physical aspects, shit's definitely happening in the subtle realms. I can tell you, Lightbody came up, right? So you might be feeling these things, or sensing, or knowing even of these things going on. You might not be able to make sense of it, might be feeling frustrated, confused, bewildered was said. And there's just a need to stay with it, stay grounded, stay on the path, stay focused, and exercising some patience, because shit's not going to happen in our time. It's going to happen when it's going to happen. We have no control over that. As much as we push, we're just creating more suffering, trying to make shit happen when it's not ready yet. There's this feeling of things not being quite ready yet. Let's pull a couple more before we finish. I was kind of really trying to keep this down to 30 to 40 minutes. Which is like the space does not really allow for that. The slowness of it, the tuning into subtle body frequencies is not. Again, this obsession with time, right? This obsession with time. And I'm just going to speak to this because it's coming into focus at the moment. Like, all this stuff going on in the world, right? I was actually brought to the stuff going on with P. Diddy, right? There was a massive need and requirement for the truth about this person, thing, entity to come out, to be spoken to, for the truth to be revealed. And there was massive frustration, there still is, that's now just been shoved to the side and nothing is being spoken about it. So I feel like that is quite similar here. Is like, we're wanting things to happen, we're wanting things to be clarified, and it's not happening, and we're getting very impatient. I'm getting this sensation in the third eye. So the awareness is being made, or brought, this is being brought to attention, right? That there's things happening on the subtle planes, on the level of frequency. We can't see it, right? We can sense it, we can feel it, but it's not actively being presented in the physical sense. So there is a need to say things are definitely happening and shifting on the level of energy, and how that presents itself in our projection is not going to be in line with our worldly expectations of this happening, right? It's not ready. Whatever this is not ready. It'll come out when it comes out, and when it does, we're going to need to be prepared. I don't know why this is being said, but I'm just laying it out because the feelings in the body is heavy. Like, I can tell there's a lot of activation all over. So there is, we're being prepared on a subtle level, if that makes sense. We're being, I'm hearing the word equipped, but prepare is the best word. It's like, yeah, this energetic preparation happening, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna pull from this deck for some reason. I just saw the Mother Mary card, and I just said that group's name, Mary. I'm pretty sure it's Mary. Take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. I just want to change you. And I guess, you know, if we're thinking about the lyrics of that song, don't shackle yourself to this outcome. Again, don't want to tell you what to do, but break free from these mental limitations, programming and conditioning I'll speak to more specifically. Because we are definitely being, yeah, something is definitely being prepared here. For some, maybe someone needs to hear this, but remember why you started. I don't know why, but I just saw it on my pen, and it's very, very light. Oh, you can't even see it, see? It says, remember why you started. Odin, psychic insight, your third eye is open. See truth for what it is. What's that say? Follow your intuition. And I said that only a few moments ago. There's a feeling here, an uncomfortable feeling. Not uncomfortable, it's more like it's intense. And not in a good or bad way, it just is intense. Serapis Bay, ascension, move into your true self, rise above darkness, the light is here. And I was noting that, like, I didn't speak to it, but these lights in the darkness. Mary Magdalene. Mate. Okay. Mary is significant. I don't know why. Because this is not the card I saw before. It was Mother Mary. But this one, Mary Magdalene was a teacher. I won't get into, again, this is religious. This is talking about religious aspects here. There is a need to say, research Mary Magdalene from just look her up. But be discerning with what you find, because she helped Jesus in speaking the truth. I'm making a mental mind connection. I'm not going to speak to it because that's, you know, I'm just going to leave it there. If you know, you know. What the hell? Okay, I'm going to leave that there, because for those that know. So yeah, she was a teacher. She helped Jesus get the message of Christianity to everybody. That was the history of Mary Magdalene. So for some, you might want to look that up. The card says you have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. She brought people together. Her and Jesus brought people together. So there's something about that. I'm going to leave that there. I have not pulled any charms, and I feel like just pulling a couple more. I know we've gone so over time, my friends. I do apologize. But you know what? I knew this space is going to be long form content. I like it that way. I mean, I like long form content as well. And if I, what I do is I'll just watch it in batches, you know? If I don't have an hour to sit down, or I'll play it in the background while I'm driving or something like that. We have a butterfly. So transformation, metamorphosis. Can also speak to freedom, lightness, liberation. And we have another fairy. I don't know what's wrong, what's coming up with these fairies. What's wrong? Where are my words? Where are my words? But this is more like, anyway, I'm going to leave it. Otherwise, it's a fairy, but it's a feminine fairy, or a feminine being with wings. Ooh, and then we have the bat. So, nighttime, nocturnal. This card did speak to that somewhat. Very, what's that? I mean, bats hang upside down, right? So this is about perspective change, and being presented ideas that might seem a bit out of the box, and a little fox. And it's interesting because this fox doesn't have a face. It's just like a silhouette of it. So that feels to me like being aware of the foxes amongst us. The people who seem sweet, and I'm just going to speak to the energy of a fox. It's cunning, it's clever. So just being aware of that. But bats hanging upside down, perspective, and they are all about frequency. They are all about frequency. So just straight off the bat, this is feeling like, this is talking about those subtle frequencies again, that not everyone is able to necessarily pick up. Let me just look in this book if she does talk about bats. And then I will leave it there, I promise. I'm hearing that song again, step by step. But it's the Captain Planet. How do we not have bat in this book? Oh, we don't have bat in the book. We do, however, have fox. So we'll have a quick look at that. Okay. Alone time allows for personal growth and inner peace. Oh, and this is another thing. Foxes possess extraordinary hearing skills, inviting us to open up and truly listen to what's happening around us. We are guided to listen to our inner wisdom, tune into our intuition for advice, and listen to our true nature of life's happenings. Therefore, uncovering the need to shed unnecessary stories, resentments, and beliefs. I spoke to this at the very start. I'll just backtrack a bit. Recognized historically as the cunning villain of the animal kingdom, the fox will do whatever it takes to have its needs met. Living and hunting mostly in solitude. Foxes get crafty when it comes to finding food sources and remaining undetective. My friends, I'm going to leave that there. Make of it what you will. But, whew, I've been saying this to my kids and family members, but you are the average of the 5 people that you spend your time with. And I'm pretty sure it's Jim Rohn that quotes that's from Jim Rohn. So be very discerning with who and what you're allowing into your energy right now, because things are happening on a very subtle frequency, and if you're not focused, if you're not aware, if you're not grounded, it will overtake you. So I'm gonna leave that there. I've already gone so much over time. Thank you so much for being here. If this resonated, if you want to hang out with me and receive, behind the scenes stuff or whatever, come and visit us, come and join us in the lounge, and do follow so that you get the email notifications. It's just the 3 buttons at the top on the main page, and you just got to click that and click follow, and it'll go straight to your inbox. Other than that, please do subscribe if this does make sense to you, if you're feeling the vibe, just so that I know, okay, this is what people want more of. This, holding space for energy and frequency in a very paced and conscious and intentional level. But other than that, stay here, stay present, and stay tuned in. Thank you so much, my friends. Until next time, bye.